In your book, you mentioned that you found yourself in this journey of yours, you found yourself becoming the kind of doctor that, a person that you were trying to avoid, grumpy, impatient, angry. Like, what was that all about?
Yeah, as when I decided I want to be a doctor, I had that idea of aiming really high to be better than some of the doctors I had observed during my teenage years. And so I had high expectations of myself. I went to university and studied really, really hard. I had the highest degrees of my year. I graduated with amazing results, and I then stepped into the profession, hit the ground running, thinking gonna be amazing. And then reality hits you, and you start with the struggles. You start with strained relationships with colleagues, people trying to take advantage, people trying to um, hide information from you to make a career, all the nepotism that happens in certain environments, that move into clinical practice in the UK and be treated as a foreigner, an outsider, so being ignored for a good part of early part of my career, be looked down as someone that has less value and knows less just because I couldn't express all that I knew as proficiently and as clearly. Um, all of that plus the daily frustrations getting into clinical practice as a consultant, clinical lead, all the frustrations about decision making made about me without me. I started being the angry, frustrated person that I didn't want to be. The person that 20, 30 years before had told me, don't be a doctor. It's an awful profession. It's in shambles and it will be really hard. It was an eye opener, but also a moment where I really questioned everything. I thought, what am I doing with my life? Is it how I want to live the rest of my life? Like this, disgruntled, angry, constantly fighting. And I started looking alternatives.
You wanted to leave?
Yeah. Yeah, I had come back from a few retreats. I went to yoga retreats and meditation retreats, and I learned Tantra with a school. I did a diploma for a few years. I had all these beautiful experiences of a completely different life where I was free, I was careless, I was happy. I didn't have to deal with all of that stuff at work. And I thought, wouldn't it be beautiful if I made that my life and I had a retreat place in a beautiful island and I could live by the sea and I could have people join in and just spending good time together, doing some teaching and so on. So I started planning for that and looking up our places and looking up spiritual communities that already existed. I got to the point where I was introduced by my ex-partner to business and life coach. And I started talking about this project and we started working together. And bit by bit, I realized that I felt really inauthentic about it. It wasn't what I truly wanted. And I felt abandoning years and years of training and all the time and effort that I had dedicated to the profession felt like a failure and didn't feel like what I really wanted to do. It made me really stop and think, what do I want to do with my life? Do I really want to quit? Or is there something else I can do to change, but change for good, not just look for migrating to another country or trying to find the perfect job that doesn't exist. I've seen plenty of colleagues that keep moving from place to place to place to place, always thinking it's going to be better. And they always complain about pretty much the same. And yeah, you go across the ocean and you find someone that is going through similar problems. So I really thought We need to change the rules of the game. We need to do something about the medical profession. We can't let it become something unsustainable and that breaks every doctor that I know. Is not good for the future of medicine. Even as patients, we deserve doctors that are well in their own health, in their own mind, and they are at their best, at the best ability, capable of giving their best and look after us when we are in need.
What steps? I mean, you were already at the brink of thinking of leaving, and then you met a business and life coach. Was that the turning point that made you stop and think, no, actually, I still do want to practice medicine?
Yes, and it took me a long time to really clarify what I wanted to do about it because I didn't just wake up one day thinking I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write about my experiences. It took me time to first really reconnect with my original calling. Why did I decide to become a doctor? What made me choose this path? What do I want to achieve? And what are my values? What makes me wake up in the morning? What motivates me? So I did a lot of work and a lot of insight, a lot of reflection, a lot of writing going into retreats before coming up with a vision for my future. And then another 7 days spent in a retreat. The way I came up um, with the idea for the book was right after COVID. You asked me earlier about one of my worst times in clinical practice, and it's probably been during the first COVID pandemic. We were starting to see the first few cases, and we ran out of PPE. Government decided to tell us not to use FP2 or FP3 masks anymore. They made up the story that COVID was transmitted through touch and surfaces and was not airborne. And I knew that was completely made up. Virology was part of my training, and coronaviruses didn't just come into existence yesterday. So I know it wasn't true. We were forced to wear surgical masks, and within 5 days, I had symptoms of COVID. I was told by the hospital administrators that I couldn't get tested because they had not started a program to test staff, that it would have started next week. And I thought, thank you very much, but I'm well today. What about this? And so no support. I had to go to a older colleague of mine in an emergency, and I told him, I think I have COVID. He gave me a swab. I went into the bathroom, swabbed myself, put it in a plastic bag. We sent it away, and he called me later in that day saying you tested positive. And I stayed home, scared for my life because I had already seen people dying. There was no treatment. Back then, it was the first we came in contact with this disease. I live alone, and thanks God, I had some friends that were well living nearby that could bring me groceries and some medications. And once I came back after a couple of weeks, I was still coughing and coughing. And um, again, administrators told me you no longer have a fever, you're okay to come back, you're not contagious. And I ask a simple question. Can I get tested again just to check for my patients and my colleagues? No, we don't do that. There's no recommendation. The government doesn't recommend that. Again, made up information. I come back to work and I choose to wear a mask to protect my colleagues and my patients. And I'm told off by administrators for wearing a mask in the corridor because I'm scaring patients and I'm not inspiring confidence. And I go to the canteen wearing a mask and I'm told to take it off because it's not allowed to wear masks in the canteen. So I suddenly start being really angry and frustrated about all this nonsense, all these imposed rules that go against everything I have learned in medical school that is being told and that is going to have an effect and is going to also affect well-being and lives of other doctors. I had some nurse colleagues that lost their lives during the first COVID wave. And I think, again, how about me? What is my role into this? I'm just uh, another disposable cogwheel in this big machinery, and the moment I break, I will just be replaced and forgotten. It really made me think. And I booked a whole week to go away with my coach, and it started with me moaning a lot and just getting things off my chest about everything that was wrong with the medical profession. And Tony J. Salimi is my coach. He's a great man. I highly recommend him. He really has done a wonderful job to support me and throughout this journey. He invited me to write all these ideas on the walls, but not directly on the walls, on the plastic sheets, adhesive sheets. And at the end of the day, the whole room was filled with ideas. I realized that, and I started organizing them. I realized that I wasn't only looking at problems that we all share. I potentially had also learned over the years how to cope and strategize, and I could turn challenges into solutions and learning, and something that I could teach and share with others. And I started seeing a glimpse of light. And I thought, there's something about it. How about you write a book for other doctors? And that's how the journey started.
Before we dive back into this incredible conversation, there are a couple of exciting opportunities with disruptive doctors that I want to share with you guys. First, if you're a doctor who's thinking about moving into a non-clinical career but don't know where to start, or even if you're a doctor who's on the fence thinking if you should leave medicine or stay, the non-clinical career Pathfinder by Disruptive Doctors is designed specifically for you. The problem why we doctors think that there's no opportunities for us out there is because we've been trained in sick care all our lives, but that's not true. Healthcare is a huge ocean. What you learn in this workshop is discovering yourself, where to find all the opportunities within healthcare, your game plan, and insights from me and Vivek on how to do it. And the best part is it comes with a 14-day guarantee. By the end of this workshop, you gain so much clarity on what you need to do, or if staying in medicine or leaving for non-clinical practice is for you. Our proven framework has helped more than 1,000 doctors on finding a fulfilling career. So stop wasting your time trying to figure it out all on your own in the dark. So sign up for our next workshop on our website. Next, mark your calendar for Disruptive Doctors Annual Conference and Exhibition. It's happening this 20th and 21st of September. This conference isn't about fitting into label. It's about expanding what is possible in healthcare and reimagining the doctor's role in it. This is where forward-thinking doctors come together to drive real change in healthcare. For those who refuse to settle, this flagship event brings together doctors from diverse backgrounds to explore fresh approaches, share ideas, and connect with a community of doctors to impact healthcare differently. Remember to get your tickets on our website at disruptive-doctors.com/conference 2025. And finally, if you haven't already, please download the Disruptive Doctors app. It is a global hub where you can connect, collaborate, share experiences with doctors across the globe, and you don't have to be limited by geography. This is more than an app, it's a movement. So be part of the community of doctors who are impacting healthcare differently. And also, can you do me a huge favor? If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please be sure to subscribe, because it's subscribers like you that help us bring better guests for you. So whether it's the workshop, the conference, the app, or just subscribing to the channel, be sure to do it now. Now, let's get back to the conversation.
Join Disruptive Doctors. Oh, Disruptive Doctors. Impact.